Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about Banner's latest industrial wireless kit. So Banner's new production performance monitoring, or PPM kit. I won't say that 5 times fast. So we're going to do a little unboxing on this. And actually I'm going to start with the QR code on the box. So Banner's made it really easy to just scan a QR code and get all of the relevant documentation for this kit. So I think that's one of the latest features and the coolest features on this kit that we'll look at. But let's open it up and start talking about it. Alright, don't need this. So let's talk about each component. First is Banner's prepaid CDS trial. So you've got a 90-day trial to Banner CDS. And that's actually going to be very useful for this kit because it allows you to have that automatic dashboarding visualization of your data. And you get it for free for 90 days when you buy a kit. We've got our D-Cell Q45 photoelectric sensor, our DXM wireless controller, and you've got a power supply. So let's first talk about the DXM wireless controller. Start by opening this bad boy up. Alright, so our DXM wireless controller. What you'll see, you've got an LCD display, buttons on the front, 4 LEDs, and then it's pretty much just a power connector and an Ethernet connector on the bottom with an antenna port so that you can actually communicate to those devices in the facilities. You can get a longer range. So the DXM controller really just houses the solution. So it houses the PPM kit solution, all of the brains, all of the logic, the programming. It monitors all those remote devices. It's doing trending. It's getting that performance data. It's being able to track things like availability. And so it's pretty much just the star of the show, right? Without this, nothing would work. So that's a DXM 1200 controller. Alright, so next thing we have is the Q45 D-Cell photoelectric sensor node. So this is an all-in-one type sensor, meaning that it's got a photoelectric sensor embedded and a radio embedded to the device. So really all you do is you apply power through a D-Cell battery, so it's a D-Cell lithium battery. And then this guy can start communicating back to the DXM controller. It can start sending that data of your part counts, your throughputs, and the DXM controller takes all of that information. And like I mentioned, it just starts trending it, starts aggregating the data, starts monitoring. What's my uptime, what's my downtime, how often is my line in like a slow condition. And it's really simple to power this device. There's really just 2 screws on the top of the device. So you unscrew those, you lift up the cover, and then you pull out the battery holder. As you can actually see the radio on there as well. Insert the battery, put that back in, and it's that easy. Your radio starts to turn on after a few seconds, powers up, and then you can start monitoring data and being able to actually collect that throughput data. Just close that back up, tighten the screws. And then the mounting hardware is included, so use a standard 30mm mounting hardware. So you're pretty much ready to go with everything here. The last thing is you just got a power supply. So power supply, it's a wall wart style power supply. You've got international adapters or standard US adapters, I guess. So again, pretty simple. Click on the adapter, plug this M12 into the base of the DXM controller, thread it on, and you're good to go. Plug this into the wall and you can start collecting data and you can start monitoring all of that production information. The last thing is, like I mentioned earlier, you've got the 90-day trial to Banner CDS, and this is what's going to get you those nice dashboards. This is what's going to get you that data retention, right? So not only are you monitoring locally on the DXM, but then you have that data that you can go and look back 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the road, and you can see, hey, how's my production performance improved from the moment I purchased a kit to now. And so that gives you that access, and we're actually going to show you guys that in a bit. But first we're going to talk about and show you how to mount the sensor, and then just a quick overview of what it does and how it works. Alright, so we're going to show you how easy it is to mount the Q45 all-in-one D-Cell photoelectric sensor node. So pretty much you already have your 30mm mounting hole, and you just slide the sensor into the mounting hole. Then you've got your 30mm threaded knurl nut, and you just thread that on. It's simple as that. What you're also going to see is up here there's a blinking green LED, so that tells you it's communicating to the gateway, and then there's going to be a yellow alignment LED. So once these boxes here pass through, we're going to be able to align the sensor to make sure that it's actually detecting the object or the target. So we start seeing that yellow light. Awesome, the amber light's on. We just tighten that knurl nut, and it's that easy to mount this sensor, and then it's already pushing information to the controller. It's giving you that actionable data. It's giving you those part counts. It's giving you the line speed, so the controller is going to calculate things like availability, performance, what's my on time, what's my downtime, what's my slow time, how many parts have I produced today, what's my parts per minute at this moment versus throughout the past 8 hours. So it gives you all of that information, and then you can have that option to display it on Banner CDS. The other thing I want to highlight here is that the PPM kit does have a couple other options. So I just showed you guys the D-cell version. There's also the version with a tower light base. So this tower light base gives you the ability to use any standard PNP sensor. It can be a Banner sensor, it can be a sensor that you already have installed on your facility, and it pretty much is just a single pipe to power and ground. And that's because the wireless radio is embedded onto the base of this tower light, and then it's taking the sensor output, it's converting it. So this is a wire converter that's pretty much just converting it to the desired input that this requires, and then it's tracking all the part counts. So it's tracking the part counts locally, transmitting them wirelessly, and then it's also giving you the local indication here. So if I speed up the conveyor, you're going to see that this tower light's going to go from yellow, meaning it's in a slow condition, to green. So as you can see, it's that easy to start monitoring your throughput either with existing sensors or using Banner's all-in-one wireless photoelectric sensors. Last thing we're going to talk about today is using the automatic dashboards on Banner CDS. So let's go to the computer. Alright, so now that we talked about the hardware side of the PPM solution kit, I'm going to talk a little bit about the software and just go over it briefly. So first I'm going to go open up my browser, go to bannercds.com, and normally what you would do is you go to the sign up link here and click on enter authorization code. Here's where you enter your auth code or your email and your additional information, and this will actually register your account and create your user profile. I've already done this, so I'm just going to log in. So the first thing we'll see here is this automatic dashboard that's created. So when you load your solution onto Banner CDS, it's going to create this auto dashboard where you have just a global view of all the different sensors that are connected. You've also got metrics like what are the total slow events and what are the total stop events, as well as what is the average time that each event lasts. So on average, these slow events are lasting about 20 minutes. You also have a connectivity icon on the top right, so if your DXM ever stops pushing to the cloud, this little icon here is going to turn red. Next, we're going to look at the individual sensor. So I'm going to click on this node 1. So the individual sensor view, you can see a lot of different information. You can see things like performance. So you can see right now we're at 106 performance. We're actually producing more than what we expected. You can see the status. So the majority of the time this line is in a good run condition versus slow or stop conditions. And then you can see the parts per minute as well. So this green graph here tells you what is the instantaneous PPM. You've got an averaged blue graph here that's telling you what's the average PPM throughout the day. And then you've got your different thresholds for those slow and those run rates. Now right here you have the part count as well, so you can see how many parts are you producing throughout the day. And then the last thing on here is that you have these user configurable settings for ideal run rate and stop rate, as well as performance, and you can update these through the cloud for each individual asset or sensor by just setting the number here and pressing update. So it's that easy. You get these automatic dashboards, you get actionable data, information direct to the cloud, and you don't have to do anything else other than just set up that authorization code that comes in with the PPM solution kit. So if you guys have any further questions, feel free to reach out to your local Banner rep or go to bannerengineering.com where we have more information on the PPM solution kit. Thank you guys.